You may have seen many cars in your life. You may have heard about Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, and yes, maybe even Pagani. But there is one machine so rare, so mysterious, that very few in this world even know its real story. It is not just a car. It is a piece of living art, a sculpture on wheels, something that feels less like a machine and more like a soul, captured in metal and carbon fiber. Today, we are talking about the Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta, a car that is not just rare but almost mythical. A car built not for the market, not for the crowd, but as a reflection of one man's dream and his love for design, performance, and passion. When you first look at the Zonda HP Barchetta, you realize instantly that this is not like any other hypercar. It is not shouting with aggressive lines. It is not trying to copy anyone. It is standing in its own world. The proportions are wild. The body curves flow like a piece of art. The blue-tinted carbon fiber looks like it was painted by nature itself. And then there's that dramatic, chopped windshield that makes it instantly recognizable. But behind all of this beauty lies a story. The story of Horacio Pagani, the man who dreamed beyond limits. Horacio Pagani was an artist before he was a car builder. He believed that cars were not just machines to take you from point A to point B. For him, a car was like a painting, like a sculpture, something that lives, breathes, and tells a story. And the Zonda HP Barchetta is the ultimate expression of that philosophy. Created in 2017, it wasn't built for the world. It wasn't built to impress shareholders. It wasn't even built to start a production line. It was created to celebrate Horacio Pagani's 60th birthday, and only 3 units were ever made. Think about that for a second. In a world where brands chase numbers, chase profits, here was a man who made only 3 cars, one of which he kept for himself. That is not business, that is pure love. And this is where the HP in the name comes from. It doesn't stand for horsepower, it stands for Horacio Pagani. It is his personal signature, his personal chapter in the history of automobiles. That's why this car feels so different. It was never built for the crowd. It was built as a statement of passion. Now let's talk about the heart of this beast. Underneath that beautiful body lies a 7.3-liter naturally aspirated Mercedes AMG V12 engine. This engine is a legend on its own. In the Zonda HP Barchetta, it produces around 789 horsepower. And what makes it even more special is that it is paired with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Yes, you heard that right. In a world where hypercars chase dual-clutch automatics, Pagani chose the old-school way, a manual, because this car is not about shaving milliseconds off lap times. It is about the pure connection between man and machine. Every gear change is an experience. Every rev of that V12 feels like music. And every drive is unforgettable. The performance, of course, is staggering. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just about 3 seconds, and a top speed of 355 km/h. But numbers are not the point here, because when you sit inside this car, you don't just feel speed. You feel something else, something emotional. The cabin is hand-built, with every switch, every dial, every surface crafted like jewelry. The seats, the steering wheel, the pedals, everything feels like it was carved by an artist. It is one of those interiors where you could just sit for hours without even turning the engine on and still feel amazed. But when you do turn that V12 on, oh, it's like waking a sleeping dragon. The sound is raw, unfiltered, mechanical yet emotional, like a symphony of power. It doesn't just make noise, it makes you feel alive. It's the kind of sound that makes you forget everything else. The kind of sound that feels like your heartbeat is syncing with the car. From the outside, one of the most unique features of the Zonda HP Barchetta is the rear wheel cover design, something that makes it instantly stand out from any other Zonda. Combined with the low windshield, it gives the car a silhouette that is unlike anything else on the road. And then there is that exposed rear engine bay, with the mechanical parts visible like the beating heart of a sculpture. It's dramatic, it's beautiful, and it's pure Pagani. Now let's talk about the price. Because this is not just a car, it's one of the most expensive cars ever built. The Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta is valued at around 17 to 18 million US dollars. Yes, you heard that right, $18 million for a car. But then again, can you really call it just a car? With only 3 ever built, with one belonging to Horacio Pagani himself, It is a piece of automotive history that you can never put a real price on. Think about how rare this is. Out of the billions of people in the world, only 3 individuals can ever own one. That level of exclusivity is not just rare, it's almost royal. And that's why people call it not just a hypercar, but a moving piece of art. But here's the thing. The Zonda HP Barchetta is not about showing off wealth. Because if you really wanted to flex money, there are faster cars, there are more famous cars. The reason people desire this machine is because of the story behind it, the passion, the craftsmanship, the soul. This is not just Pagani's finest work. This is his love letter to the world of automobiles. Every detail tells you that. From the exposed gear shifter with its beautiful linkage, to the leatherwork, to the carbon fiber weave, to the tiny engraved details that most people will never even notice. Horacio Pagani once said that even if nobody sees a detail, it must still be perfect because the artist knows it's there. That is the philosophy you can feel in this car. Imagine driving this car on an empty road, the sun setting, the V12 roaring, the wind hitting your face because there's no roof, no proper windshield. It's just you, the machine, and the road. That's when you understand what Pagani wanted this car to be. It's not transportation. It's not speed. It's pure freedom. Some cars are designed to dominate racetracks. Some cars are built to break records. The Zonda HP Barchetta was built for something else, to remind us that a car can be poetry, that it can make you feel things you never thought a machine could make you feel. And that is why the Zonda HP Barchetta is not just one of the rarest cars ever, but one of the greatest symbols of passion in the automotive world. It represents the belief that cars can be art, that performance and beauty can live together, that a machine can have a soul. So the next time someone tells you cars are just machines, tell them about this one. Tell them about a man named Horacio Pagani, who dared to dream, who built a car not for money, not for fame, but for love. And tell them about the Zonda HP Barchetta, a car so rare, so beautiful, so alive, that even if you never see one in person, just knowing it exists makes the world a more magical place. Because some cars are driven, some cars are owned, but cars like this, they are felt. They stay in your heart forever. But the truth is, the Zonda HP Barchetta is not just a car you remember. It is a car that redefines what memory even means. It stays with you the way a great piece of music stays, the way a childhood story never leaves you, the way a masterpiece of art always calls you back. For most people, they may never sit inside one. They may never hear its V12 scream echo against the mountains. They may never touch the delicate weave of its blue carbon fiber. And yet, simply knowing that it exists, knowing that one man dared to create something so unapologetically beautiful, is enough to inspire. That is the true power of this car. It is not only for the 3 people who own it. It is for the millions who will dream because of it. When you see a Zonda HP Barchetta, you don't just think of speed or money. You think of possibilities. You realize that art can take any form, even the form of a hypercar. You realize that perfection is not about selling more units or being on every road. Perfection is about creating something so rare, so precious, that it feels eternal. Horacio Pagani himself has always said, "I wanted to create a car that was timeless." And in this, he succeeded. Because the Zonda HP Barchetta looks like it doesn't belong to a year or a decade. You could place it in the 1960s, and it would look like a futuristic vision. You could place it 50 years into the future, and it would still look ahead of its time. That is timelessness. That is why this car feels like it was born out of passion, not out of time. And when you think of the name itself, Barchetta, it tells a story. In Italian, Barchetta means little boat, a poetic name for a machine that is open to the sky, sailing the roads with the wind rushing past. It makes you realize that even the name was chosen with romance in mind. Not a technical number, not a cold code, but a word that makes you imagine, that makes you feel. Some people call it the crown jewel of Pagani. Others say it is the ultimate goodbye to the Zonda era. But if you look closer, it feels like more than that. It feels like Horacio Pagani signing,